Okay, so we look at Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the remaster at 21:9. I am so damn happy right now. This remaster is hands down one of, if not the best remaster of a game I have ever come across. And I am so glad it's for one of my favourite games of all time. I really could, and will, talk for ages about my thoughts on this game, but I'll do that in a separate video, which I'll link to in the description, or just head over to my channel, and my opinion video will be there. Because here we're going to cover the 21:9 support instead. So the first thing to note is it supports 21:9 natively. The gameplay correctly shows off more on the sides of the screen, and there is a decent FOV slider in order to get a more comfortable view. However, I needed it to be at the highest point in order for it to be perfect, and I'm sure some people would like an even higher FOV level, so yeah, it's annoying it doesn't go higher, but at least it's there, so it's somewhat of a leeway. Thankfully, in tandem with this ultra-wide gameplay, the HUD scales to the sides of the screen, and the screen effects, like when taking damage or you're stunned by a flashbang, they all use the entire screen space correctly, so there's no garish 16:9 cutting off of stuff. And this all applies to both single and multiplayer, though there is no FOV slider for single player, and it is annoying as it's a very low FOV default. Either natively or modding wise, I'd like to see a fix soon. The campaign menu is 16:9 with black bars, sadly, and the same goes for its loading screens. However, both campaign and multiplayer in-game menus have a full 21:9 blurred background behind the menu elements. The multiplayer main menu is 21:9 with a full screen live background image with your soldier standing to the right, and you can live switch his factions. Though that said, weirdly when you first enter the screen it starts with a 16:9 image with black bars, but then it quickly transitions to the full screen alternative. Multiplayer loading screens use a 16:9 image with black bars on the sides too, however the overlaying elements like map name and loading bar all shift to the edges, so yeah, it's kind of okay. I'm not really sure what I think of it, but it kind of looks fine, but at the same time the black bars are still obvious. The multiplayer menus do have moments of 16:9 with black barring, and that includes the first menu screen, the playlist selection screen, the personalization and emblem screen, and the barracks screen, but in all cases the back, select and social button prompts on the bottom shift to the edges. Creating classes is all 21:9 with the smoky background filling the entire background space. The main screen elements don't move from their original position, but I like that. I just want the sides not to be black barred. And finally, the after action screen has the correct 16:9 center pop-up like normal, but the extra screen space on the sides doesn't have the fade effect and so just shows an unblurred view of the background scene. Sniper scopes have been changed to use the blurred image on the exterior of the scope instead of a plain black, and this correctly works at 21:9. Using a javelin, the heads-up display on it is stretched, and kill replays correctly utilize the entire screen space as well. I had actually forgotten as well how much HUD there is on the multiplayer after playing so much Battlefield, so yeah, it is nice to have the extra screen space to spread it all out a bit as there is a lot going on. And lastly, in the campaign, sometimes you transition from a 16:9 image to 21:9 gameplay just before you take control, and you can see the black bars on the sides just pop away. Now a weird thing, when you first load up multiplayer, you'll be greeted with a weird shader loading thing that takes a while to load, but it doesn't come back, it just is a one-off, so I have no idea why it's there, but because it's a one-off, there's nothing to worry about, just let it do it the first time. Bug-wise, there are some small bits here and there, but I actually only came across them in the menus, nothing gameplay related. Examples being the multiplayer lobby locking me in so I couldn't actually select anything in it or leave, but that actually only happened once, it's never happened again. And secondly, for some reason, until you get the first 25 kills with a weapon, you can't seem to see the attachment unlock progress, but then once you do it, the progress bar works for the rest of the attachments. It's a bit weird. I think it's just a small bug, and it's the kind of thing that will be fixed, I'm sure, in a patch soon. Performance-wise, this is interesting, and it took me a while to work out how to actually have this run well, but I figured it out in the end, so I hope I can help you out if you are a bit confused at this point. Basically, the game has a serious issue right now, and I'm sure it'll be patched in the future, so this probably won't apply forever, but just after launch, if you change any graphic settings in the game, your performance will be killed. It doesn't matter if you're swapping from ultra to low, you end up with performance in the drain. What I ended up working out, however, is if you restart the entire game, not just relaunch the level, you must quit completely and then return. It then seems to clear out whatever memory store issue or whatever was causing the slowdown, and you get beautiful performance. And it is annoying that this game has this one issue because it runs so well once it's working correctly. I have everything on the highest settings for online with FXAA and can maintain an FPS in the 80s to 90s at nearly all the time. In the campaign, I dropped down I think there were 3 ultra settings, just down to high, to try and get a slightly steadier FPS as there's more going on in these scenes. And I only got a few very small slowdowns, and I never got lower than 60 FPS. Now, I can't deny, it's not perfectly smooth all the time. You do notice some stutter, even on a G-Sync monitor, and it seems to be more of a loading issue, not a graphics performance issue. Case in point, loading into a multiplayer level will usually cause me for about 10 to 15 seconds, or until I die, to have a very stuttery gameplay, in like the 15 FPS range. But then it catches up with itself and you're off and running fine. And yeah, as I said, if you die, again, it just works perfectly after you're dead. So yeah, very strange. Clearly they need to fix this issue, and hopefully once they do, it'll just iron out all of these small little problems. I must also commend the robust set of graphics options. They didn't skimp here, which is always lovely. And I also want to note as a heads up for you when you're heading into this, I tried to remove any chance of FPS fluctuations by locking the FPS to 80 in the menus, as this sort of seemed to be the lower end of my FPS drops, so I was hoping that it would iron out any of those high-end fluctuations, so I wouldn't have any FPS changes. But this actually caused some V-Sync effect and caused the controls to get sluggish, just unresponsive. So yeah, just be aware of that. I just ended up turning it off again. Graphically, it is gorgeous. I am really blown away with the work they've done here. It looks nothing like the 2006 game anymore. And just without talking much more, like I said, my full opinion on the game will be linked in the description, or just head over to my channel and it'll be there. But this totally lives up to the hype and expectations, and they really have respected the best game in the series. The joke being, in doing such a fantastic job, they've just shone an even clearer light on how absolutely useless Infinite Warfare really is. Overall, I'm going to give this game a WideAsFcuk score of 3. It's a very solid 21.9 game, and only the cutscenes, loading screens, and some menu items pull it down from being a better WideAsFcuk score. I am really loving my time with this. The nostalgia is so real, and I absolutely recommend the hell out of it to anyone who played the original, or those who never did and want to find out why this is the best COD in the series, and still is. Anyway, I hope that gives you some information on how the game runs at 21.9. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe for future info. For any of the games at 21.9, head over to my channel. Hopefully I've covered it. If I haven't, then leave a comment down below and I'll try and cover it. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, the links to my Patreon page are in the description. See you later.
Go, go, go! Hit the targets! Position 2, go! Hit the targets! Flashbang through the door! Position 4! Hit the targets! Position 5, go! Hit the targets! 6, go! Flashbang through the door! Hit the targets! Final position, go! Sprint to the finish! That's a new squadron.
Already in the helicopter, sir! Enemy...
Bravo 6, come in. Bravo 6, what's your status?
6! What the hell happened? The ship's sinking! We've got to go, now!
6, come in, damn it.
Big Bird, this is Bravo 6, we're on our way out! On your feet, soldier! We are leaving! Get to the catwalk! Move, move, move!
Move your asses! Come on, let's go!
Back on your feet!